The Georgetown Journal gets underway this week as we extend most cordial greetings to representatives of the Ottawa County chapter of the American Red Cross. Incoming Chief Executive, CEO, Mike Mitchell.
Correct.
Correct title, have I got it right?
Executive Director is the title, but the CEO, it's all the same.
Executive Director will go voluntarily. Ed Hartline, across from me, is the Blood Director, the Count Dracula, I suppose, of the organization.
Get blood wherever we can.
You needle people to get it, don't you?
Yes.
You do. And on my immediate left is our good friend Dwayne Rotman. Dwayne has been with us now for a couple of years' time.
Couple of years, Gil.
And you are the volunteer coordinator type, and you.
I am a volunteer.
And you are a volunteer, and we've had for the gentlemen who've never been here before, we go through everything from heart attacks to strokes to a variety of things, and share knowledge, information.
This time it's heat.
This time it's heat.
It's heat if we get time to talk about it.
Okay, well, we will be a little pressed for time, but I did want to break in, first of all, and visit with Mike Mitchell for a bit. You're incoming now. You had a sense of familiarity with the region. You're not absolutely coming in cold turkey. Tell us about that.
In terms of the area, my wife and I have, for the last 5 years, been planning on moving to the Ottawa County area. We got very serious about it about a year ago. And then most recently, about 3 months ago, I had noticed on a Red Cross website that there was an opening here in Ottawa County for a Red Cross Executive Director. Well, it was like all the stars lining up. But my wife said, you have to apply. I had sold a business 2 years ago, so I've actually spent the past 2 years in a temporary retirement, if you will, volunteering predominantly with the Red Cross during that time. So it was time to get back to work, and having the opportunity to come back here to Ottawa County, where we had intended to move anyway, it was a perfect thing.
You have some fundraising at backgrounds, do you not?
I have some experience in fundraising when I was the interim director with the American Red Cross in Kankakee County, Illinois, and I did that for 6 months. Other than that, it was all fundraising to keep a business growing that I had for about 13 years.
So you're used to knocking on doors and saying, I'm here for, and then they kind of back away for a second, but then you begin extolling the virtues of the Red Cross.
You know, what I try to tell the American public is that all I ask for is 3 things: your time, your blood, and your money. Your time in the way of a volunteer, your blood in the way of donating blood to the American Red Cross and helping the community and people all throughout who may need that blood source when the time comes, and money, contributions to keep us going. There's a big misnomer that the American Red Cross is a government agency or gets some form of funding from the U.S. government, and that's not true. We are completely dependent upon the contributions of the American public.
Time, talent, treasure. That's what you're after, right?
Time, blood, and money, but yes, time, talent, treasure is all equally as important.
You'll take that, Ed. When you mention blood, of course, we turn to Ed Hartline. You've been with the organization now for 6 months to a year. You have faithfully, monthly...
18 months, to be exact.
Really?
Yes, been here a while.
Time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having fun.
But Ed is the coordinator for the blood drives that we promote here on the station, and amongst other things, you update us almost weekly as new people drop on and join the organization collecting blood. I laughingly called you the Count Dracula, but that was not...
that's what we like to do.
I was needling you a little bit. Thank Dwayne.
Oh, it's getting
you needed
deep.
That chuckle.
It's getting deep.
Challenges that you face, Ed.
The biggest challenge is volunteers for the blood drives. We provide, I ran some quick numbers. Last year we ran 254 drives in Ottawa County. Of those, we needed volunteers for either what we call registered volunteers who are actually working for the volunteering for the Red Cross office, or church volunteers or company volunteers that are not registered with us. So we had over 6,000 volunteer hours last year in Ottawa County for these blood drives. 3,000 of those are the ones that I am responsible for. So getting those volunteers is pretty hard.
That's 500 hours a month, really.
Yes, it is. And some of the issues that a lot of people don't know, they see the volunteers at the blood drive. We do the registration when the donors come in, and the canteen after they're done, where they get the refreshments, sit down and make sure they're okay. But the other is when the van comes in, it has to be unloaded. All that equipment has to get out of the van and into the facility, and that takes volunteers.
You need manual labor?
Yes, we need, and generally it's men, because there are some slightly heavy equipment, and often women don't like to handle that. And then after the drive, we have to reload the van so the driver can head on his way. So that's the toughest part to get volunteers for.
I think that's very true, because many people have a deep sense of humility. I don't count much. There are those who are arrogant, confident, that type of thing is an extreme on one hand, but there are so many people who just diminish their own stature in their own eyes. And it seems that I can't make a big contribution. In reality, you need that kind of a contribution, don't you?
And for, yes, absolutely, and for the load and unload, it's only an hour. It's not like it's going to take someone all day to do that. So that would be real nice to find an organization. I use Rotary Club, American Legion, Boy Scouts, troops. They're all very valuable to our effort.
You have church groups. I see that on your shot,
Yes.
on your weekly sheet, or monthly sheet, actually.
Yes.
So many churches are, while they may not provide manpower or woman power, as the case may be, nonetheless, they do have those contributions that they're making, the facilities.
Yes, absolutely. And the sponsors, that's the other area. You know, we always are looking for new sponsors who will provide the facility so that we can hold the blood drive there.
It's important to also point out, is it not that blood cannot be stored indefinitely?
Absolutely. It has to be used, and all the blood that's collected here in Ottawa County stays in Ottawa County for the most part. This is the first choice. The hospitals like Holland Hospital, Zealand Hospital, they get the first shot at the blood. Then if they can't use it, then it will go into the greater western Michigan area, and on very rare occasions will actually go out of the state.
Needing volunteers, Dwayne, of course, would verify this. I think Mike would as well. But this is a time of some unemployment, time of economic distress. And for those persons who are updating a resume, inserting Red Cross volunteer might be a very useful adjunct on a resume. And do you verify or give letters of commendation, recommendation, endorsement, whatever? Do you give those to volunteers?
Absolutely.
Who are, for example, updating a resume?
Yes.
Gil, could I add to that
Mike.
it's also a great networking opportunity. So if somebody's currently seeking an opportunity for employment, this is an opportunity to get out in the public and meet people that you generally would not have had the chance to meet otherwise.
Excellent thought.
And it depends on the individual. You can meet a lot of people at a blood drive. At Canteen, you don't know who's sitting across the table from you. It may be an owner of a company who is looking for someone. And I used to do that for a living, is help people find work. And it's an excellent way to find future employers.
Appreciate that. Your area phone number, which I don't have in front of me, but I'll bet if I ask Dwayne for it, he'll pop it right up.
Area code 616-396-6545.
6545. So,
Sir.
did you notice I mouthed the last line? Just in case he stumbled, you know. But
And I want to thank God that he's here, because today's my first day and I don't even know the phone number yet.
I can appreciate that. And how about your web page number? What's your web address? You know,
OttawaRedCross.org.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
that
for
one we
you.
do.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And when we spoke about the need for volunteers, and it was a warm day, and heat is in the air, and you might ask the question, how can we cope with heat and high humidity, and the dew points are in the mid-70 range? Beads of perspiration are running down people's faces, or they aren't because the heat